After the COVID-19 pandemic, it looked like Amtrak was dying. Ridership had crashed, service was degraded, and funding looked bleak as the government prioritized other things. However, that may all be about to change. Armed with billions in new funding from congressional infrastructure and jobs packages, and a dramatic increase in their annual funding, things are finally looking up. Ridership rose by 89% in 2022, nearly to pre-COVID levels. And those numbers are expected to continue trending upwards. This video is going to break down Amtrak's ambitious plans for the future, and show what steps they are taking to guarantee a stronger future for American rail. Amtrak received a total of $66 billion from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. That makes it the single largest investment into Amtrak since its incorporation in 1971. However, that is only on the surface. $44 billion of those dollars will be routed away immediately, going into the Federal Railroad Administration to be used for state grants and other rail projects. Although lots of these improvements will likely benefit Amtrak service, as tracks are upgraded and maintained, and critical infrastructure like bridges and tunnels are improved or constructed. The other $22 billion will be used to upgrade the Northeast Corridor, as well as expand the national network in hopes of achieving Amtrak's Connect Us plan. So, let's take a look at a breakdown of the spending. The Northeast Corridor alone has some of the biggest line items, including $277 million for next-generation Acela, $37 million for an overhaul of dining carriages, $86 million for train set replacements, $27 million for facility improvements, and $153 million for engineering and maintenance equipment. The NEC also plans to spend heavily on repairing and replacing bridges and tunnels, and acquiring property, as well as upgrading stations, some of which are in pretty terrible states. Those investments amount to over $730 million, which is all part of the $2.2 billion Amtrak will spend this year on infrastructure investments. Amtrak's budget also includes increases in budget for thousands of other things. It would take hours to go through every single line item, but if you are interested, feel free to check the source document in the description, as I only hit the highlights, and there are a lot of interesting things in there if you're interested. I've mentioned a lot of plans so far, but have not really explained any of them as of yet. There are two major plans underway that I want to draw your attention to: the Connect NEC 2035 plan and the Amtrak Connects Us plan. The Northeast Corridor plan, or NEC plan, is relatively straightforward, focusing on the preservation and development of the Northeast Corridor. These trains are already running, but the plan details how they can speed them up, increase the frequency, make sure the infrastructure it uses is not falling apart, increase efficiency, and much more. Essentially, they need to keep it operating to a high standard. However, due to prices of land, construction, and equipment, the NEC plan could cost upwards of $117 billion once all is said and done. However, this is likely one of the most worthwhile investments that Amtrak could make, as the Northeast Corridor is their most popular route by far, and brings in a majority of their revenue. So they are keen to protect it, and with this plan hope to guarantee its future success. It is the Amtrak Connects Us plan that would truly expand the scale of the network to a significant degree. The Connect Us plan is a 15-year vision that seeks to add 20 million new Amtrak passengers by 2035. The plan would bring new daily trips to 15 more states, with 30 new routes to 160 unserved communities. The Connects Us project would be very expensive to fully implement, but the currently allotted funding is a good start, and continued investment goes a long way. They are able to be efficient about their spending because they are able to specifically choose which parts of the plan to implement at once, and they will hopefully be able to use the evidence of progress to guarantee future funding from Congress as things improve. They are also able to be very efficient about their spending because they're not planning to own any of the lines. They're going to use pre-existing tracks and run their trains along them, which is generally how Amtrak operates. However, passenger stations and other infrastructure will still need to be constructed. You can see some of the potential expansions on screen now, highlighted in light blue. They include new routes in the south between Atlanta, Nashville, Chattanooga, Savannah, Montgomery, and more. It would also connect major cities in Wisconsin and Indiana, expand service in the west, most importantly to Las Vegas, completely revamp the Texas network with a Dallas to Houston line, and bring Amtrak service out of New York along Long Island. Some of these routes already have other railroads operating them, or planning to operate on them, so it is interesting to see that Amtrak may attempt to compete. That is particularly evident in the Long Island expansion, where the Long Island Railroad already operates, and this Amtrak line would directly compete with them, in a route that is already pretty common and well used on the Long Island Railroad. Their Las Vegas to Los Angeles line will also be in competition with Brightline's current construction, which I have a whole video on that you should definitely check out. It'll be linked in the description or in the end card of this video. Overall, it is a very ambitious plan, which Amtrak hopes to roll out slowly, pending investment and confirmation on each individual line over the next 15 years. Since this project is being run by the government, we can multiply those estimates by at least 5, and assume that I will be able to enjoy these projects in my 90s at the earliest. So, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe. Click the video on screen to learn more about rail projects in the US, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.